Hello, 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 hello. Hey now, and a hey now, and a hey now. Welcome to Thursday edition of the Line Talk 99.5. Boy, is it chilly out there with the rain and everything else. But I'm not going to complain. I'm going to be grateful that we are missing the big ice storm that's coming through because that could have been bad. We went from like being deep in it to being on the line to barely missing it to the whole state missing it. What a series of events. And I'll tell you, man, I there's a lot of people, and I understand this day to day life. You don't keep up with the weather. It's just like a lot of people don't keep up with the news. It's just you know, you got the things you're interested in. You got the things that's going on in your life. You don't have time for it. Maybe you'd rather just go to work and come home and watch TV or spend time with the family. And but some people, I mean, Tom from Pell City, even though he doesn't stick to it, he will often call us and say, "Hey, I'm done with the news. I'm not listening anymore." And then within 2 weeks, he's calling us. But there are some people that do stick to that, and so they don't know. They don't really know the happenings and what's transpiring. So what happens in a situation like this is that people get word from, word of mouth or whatever, that there's a big ice storm coming. They heard it from coworkers or whatever, and so they go ahead and they start to prepare. But they're not watching the storm system unfold and seeing the updates. Say they heard on Monday there's a big ice storm coming. Well, they just, hey, that's what's happening. This weekend there's going to be an ice storm. And they don't know that by the time the weekend gets here, the whole thing's changed. What that results in is what I experienced last night when I went to Aldi, and Aldi was like wiped out. There was like nothing. Well, I mean, it wasn't literally nothing, but there was quite a few empty shelves at Aldi, which I guess is good that people are preparing. But now what you gonna do? Now y'all got a bunch of extra food that you're gonna have to eat. You ain't gonna be able to do pizza and takeout this weekend. Y'all got to eat all those vegetables you bought at Aldi. So good luck. Left me with nothing. I mean, we got what we needed, but there was a mad dash, man. Mad dash to the grocery stores. And maybe some of y'all in this audience, and listen, I don't have anything against it. I think it's probably a good idea to go ahead and get on top of it, but you know, it's gonna take a few days for them to restock the shelves. I listen, I'm grateful it's not happening. Don't get me wrong. If it was a situation where we were off work and we didn't have things to do and everything else, I'd be okay with snow. Just stay snowed in for 2, 3, 4 days. I'd be good with it. But the fact that it was going to be happening on like Saturday night really interfered with what we were going to be able to do Monday as far as coming to work. So uh, we dodged a bullet. We dodged a bullet. I should take a poll. By the way, Steve West here. I
What's
should
happening?
uh, I should take a poll to see who wanted ice. I mean, who wanted winter weather and who didn't.
Here's
Whoa.
the thing. I don't, but I have a different take on it. I mean, here's the thing. You and Leland and Richard and Valerie, you can all end up doing your shows at home. I got to be here, which means if it snows and we get stuck, I get stuck here.
Yeah, that's true.
You get to be in your house, sleeping in your bed, having a great time.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping at work.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Boy, that wasn't the case back in the day, though. There was no
Everybody
broadcasting
had to
from
be on the
home.
station.
Everybody, and that's where the party commences. Is when everybody employed at the station had to be at the station all together. Which was, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't experience a lot of those. I think I had maybe. How many times did I have to spend the night at the station? I can only think of, well, with the exception of my first gig, there was, I think, 2 days I had to stay in that 2014 ice storm.
Yeah, the back-to-back years of 2013, 2014, probably spent 2 nights in 2013 and at least one in 2014.
Yeah, I wasn't in radio before the 2013 one, but there was another one that happened that I think I had to stay overnight. I can't remember. It all runs together. I can't remember if I've ever stayed overnight. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I remember over there. You may have been involved in this as well at the last station because I remember being in that big conference room with an Xbox hooked up to the TV playing Call of Duty. And
Yeah.
that's what I did all night.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, but don't have to worry about it. It's going to be slippery, which means you still got to be safe out on the roadways. And honestly, there is a chance come Sunday or I guess Monday morning, a chance for large swaths of black ice. So
Yeah, that ought to make life interesting.
you're gonna have to at least, where the roads won't be iced over. You're probably gonna have to be really careful on the way to work on Monday. I would advise,
Especially on the bridges.
yes, especially on the bridges. You need to leave early and make sure you got your eyes open. And listen, we all got traffic apps. We've all got Waze or Google Maps or whatever. Check that. Check that because that'll tell you where a lot of that stuff is, and then you can go ahead and be prepared and be on the lookout for it when it comes around. But take it nice and easy. Y'all remember this advice: nice and easy on Monday morning because there'll be some treacherous travel. But even with that, we're grateful that we don't have to deal with, iced over roads because that would suck. Couple things going on today. Now, just a lot of things going on today, and it's really been a busy week. I've had to, wade my way through this, and I've got ADD, so I get distracted, and I've missed a lot. But we've got Jack Smith publicly testifying for the first time about the Trump investigations today, which is going to be fascinating, and I may bring some of that to you. Also, J.D. Vance has made his way to Minneapolis. He's going to be speaking in Minneapolis today. We've got other oversight hearings, this, that, and the other movement with Greenland, as you probably know by now. And it's, it's fine. Well, I'm not going to get into it. I'll get into it in a second because the Greenland deal and Trump coming out of those meetings yesterday, it was just it was the most Trump thing ever. It's just like dude's going in there for Greenland. He's coming out with Greenland. You knew that was going to happen. But we'll break that down, what all that means and everything else. Takedown roll call. Let's go with a little refresher. Rooski. Up first, as always, our early birds with a who do we got? Jamie and Helena. We got Mark and Kim just a tad bit early. We got Mike from Canada a little early. We got Jay just a little bit early, which means number one today for somebody, if he lives in the same place that is his name, is going to have a very bad weekend. It is Mississippi. Hey now. Isn't that crazy, though, that the way this is breaking down, like there's just, I guess, a rush of warm air that just is coming up just to cover the state of Alabama? It's like God said, I'm just going to protect Alabama. Screw the rest of the Southeast. Because Mississippi's getting it, Georgia's getting it, Tennessee's getting it, and then Alabama's just like, we're good. We're good. Congratulations, Mississippi. Send me a song there, buddy. There are ladybugs all in here, dude. They're like crawling on my keyboard now. Come on, little guy. I don't want to smash them. I'm going to see if I can. Let me guide you away. Maybe, you know what I need to do? I need to shoot a YouTube short for the 99.5 channel of me just kind of guiding these ladybugs around the studio. Come on, little buddy. Let's go. All right. He's moving. Or she's moving. Are all ladybugs female? Or do we know?
I wouldn't think.
order that, or I guess we
Got to be able to propagate the species.
they them ladybugs, they them bugs. Is that what we'll call them?
Sure.
Because
why not?
I don't want to call a male bug a ladybug. Anyway, Mississippi, congratulations. Mark at number 2, Bubba Rumble at number 3. Then Carrie with a hey now, Grumpy Old Goat, hey now, Gene, Leslie, Dwayne. 2 Dwaynes back to back. Look at that. Bo, Hippie with the J's, Cherry. You got Jeff and Bree. Rudy with the J's, Steve Trent, Jeff with the J's, Jesse, Michael, Stacy, Ron, Boomer, Mike, Jason, Richard the Cop, Julie, Justin, hey now, hey now, hey now. Yeah, I guess, so are ladybugs not seasonal?
Not in this place.
I figured they would, do they not go in, hibernation during the winter or something?
Like I said, not here.
Of course, I don't know how that works. Let me just ask, are all ladybugs female? And I know this is a stupid question. No, not all ladybugs are female. They have both males and females, though telling them apart is difficult, as males are only slightly smaller and have narrower abdomens, while the name ladybug comes from a religious reference to the Virgin Mary. Oh, well, you definitely don't need to be killing ladybugs then. It's the bug of the Virgin Mary. Okay. Well, fair enough. We got a lot of them. If you are into ladybugs, man, let us know. We'll get you hooked up. 205-545-9950. 545-9950. A lot to get to. We're going to make that happen when we get back. I don't know what this is, but I think I like it. By the way, Richard Dixon is barged into studio,
Barged.
and he said, "Sir, those are not ladybugs.
Those are not ladybugs. How dare you misrepresent the fine, upstanding ladybug, sir?
What? So what are we dealing with here?
First off, I got to mention on the YouTube channel, I look like I'm sitting in the Mr. Potter chair over here.
Look at that shot.
You're Mr. Potter, and I'm over here, Jimmy Stewart, all like, I could use $25,000 a year. Yes, sir. A few trips to Europe, I would like that. I don't know how Valerie puts up with this. Why does she do this? This is crazy. Can
You
I
might
not
want to
turn that?
adjust that.
Because
yeah.
I can't turn it down. That's why, because there's no actual way to. Oh, there we
There
go.
you
All
go.
right. Hey, look at that. I'm tall.
Oh, you look much better.
I'm tall once again. Hot diggity. Okay, so these are Japanese beetles. They're called Japanese lady beetles, which, is such a Japanese name. Japanese super American cowboy, bang, bang, lady beetles. And they're very invasive. They will eat your plants. They will absolutely come into your home during the fall months because they don't like being cold. They don't like the wet, so they want to come inside. And like a lot of things in nature, they look deceptively like ladybugs, so you don't kill them.
Mm.
That's the whole reason for it'd be like if you were to dress up like a lady to go outside so that you wouldn't get mugged, or maybe you would get mugged. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure
probably
exactly.
would.
That probably would be the wrong way to go about it. Anyway, it's an ugly chick. We should take her money. But yeah, these things have been invading this building for as long as I have been here, and especially back the Jock Studio, which used to be the 1070 WAPI studio. I remember those days when we had the big studio. We used to be somebody. They came pouring in, man. It was crazy. It was like somebody had just walked in with a box of them and dumped it on the floor. You couldn't get away from the damn thing.
But it's not like they come in a swarm. They seem very spread out.
Yeah.
Like they're not coming in as an army as you would see like maybe an ant infestation.
Well, I think they do. I think they march in 2 by 2, and then they all gather and they go, okay, spread out. And they take off and they all run different directions to make it harder. And they love the light, which is why they all gather up here on our little shielded light, which Valerie did that to try to soften the lines in her face.
But you say
And
that
I'm kidding, Valerie. It's a joke. Stop it.
You say that they also like to eat plants,
Yeah.
and vegetation.
They
Well,
will eat your indoor plants if you let them into your home. Fortunately, I don't have any of those because it would mean I'd have to take care of it. I don't really do that. If my dogs didn't pester me at 5 o'clock every day, I would forget to feed them and they'd starve to death.
But you also have a history of things dying.
I do.
That are with you,
yeah,
so.
like producers,
Yeah.
partners.
People on this side of the glass.
Yeah. So, well,
It's a gift.
Don't the Asian beetles if they're in here for so long, don't they get hungry? Like, there's no vegetation in here.
I would think, and they I don't even know how long they live. You hear about flies live for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't a fly live for like 24 hours, 72 hours, something like that?
Yeah, not very long.
Imagine. Day and a half, it's like a middle age now.
Yeah.
And you never see a fly die of natural causes, but I imagine these things will die of natural causes. If they're in here long enough, there's no water, there's no food, there's no way for them to get anything. They probably, at some point, heart attack, pills in the left pocket. They're going for it.
Well, maybe it's worth putting some kind of plant in here, just sitting it on the table, and then that way at least they're all in one spot and they're not spread all over the studio.
You know who'd be good for that? John Bird.
Yeah, that's a good
He's
point.
like a plant. Let's just put him in here.
Let them gravitate towards him.
Let them all make their way toward him.
Yeah.
That would be great. How was the trip, by the way, to Tampa? You dragged him along with you for some reason.
Let me tell you, it's there was, Tony Gump went as well, and so there was discussions between he and I of like, hey, I'll bring him back if you'll take him, and we were kind of back and forth on that. Well, Tony was leaving a day early, and Bird's like, well, I can't leave a day early, which means he's gonna have to ride down there with me and ride back with me.
So unfair.
And it was me and Trish. So he's been, as of late, he had been pretty level. 3 or 4 months ago, he stopped taking his Adderall. He was just trying to see, kind of what happened. And we get in the car and 5 minutes down the road, and he's talking 90 to nothing. He's like, by the way, I started my Adderall back this morning. And I'm like, oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And he was chatting the whole way down to Tampa.
Oh, man.
We had to make several stops, which turned an 8-hour trip into a 10-hour trip.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we have a friend down there named Nick that decided he would house bird. So we didn't have to keep him in our hotel room.
Thank God.
And so he stayed there, and he had a blast, and we would link up during the day and send him back home at night,
And he broke his worry stone.
And he broke his,
hilarious.
and that was on the way back.
Oh, that was on the way back.
It was like 7:00 in the morning on the way back. He was so excited. You saw the look on his face when he came out of that store.
Oh yeah,
Like, he was giddy,
like a kid in a candy store.
and the poor guy just, that's John Bird for you. The black cloud follows him around.
Oh, older people know that as Joe Pitzfolk. That was a guy in the Little Abner comic strip that had a cloud that followed him everywhere he went. He had no vowels in his name. PTSFLK, Joe Pitzfolk was his name. And anytime I talk to John Bird, I go, oh, it's Joe. It's Joe Pitzfolk. All right, this has been a real slice of heaven, talking to the Hey Now Nation.
I figured it would be.
Yeah.
Well, come back and see us anytime. You know how I am. I BS my way through the first 30, 45 minutes of the show anyway. So you're welcome anytime.
Just the first 30 or 45 minutes?
Well, okay, maybe a little longer than that.
Valerie and I BS our way through the whole show. You're doing good.
So I'm going to kind of get ahead of myself, which I don't like to do, in the sense of, breaking down some stuff. I want to get into the church stuff in Minneapolis. A little bit of catch up with Don Lemon. We got Greenland. We got everything else. But the White House just put out a picture of one of the organizers of the church protest. And the look on her face as she's being perp walled is absolutely nothing short of amazing. I want you to look at this real quick for those of you on YouTube. The White House just posted that. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. That's what you get. Bunch of losers trying to disrupt the worship service. If that would have happened in a mosque, it'd be the end of the world. Like, the streets would be burning. But it's a Christian church. Bunch of white people. So, it's okay. Because we're trying to protest ICE. But we have Jack Smith on Capitol Hill. This is a very important topic for me, as they tried to throw our president in prison. They raided his home. They harassed him to no end. They, with their rhetoric, at the very least, almost got him killed. And so now we have on Capitol Hill Jack Smith testifying with congressional leaders on the investigations into Trump. And so you've got Jerry Nadler, who's asking Jack Smith questions right now. And I don't know that we're going to get a whole lot out of that. I'd rather see some more heavy-hitting Republicans asking him questions and see how that goes. But let's dip into this just for a moment and see what they're saying.
Deposition before this committee, it sounds like your problem was not determining if you had enough evidence to charge Donald Trump, but rather that you might have had too much evidence and struggled to determine how to present a clear narrative to a jury. How would you characterize the evidence against Mr. Trump about inciting an insurrection against the laws of this country? Did you have too much?
Well, with respect to presenting the case that we charged, one of the central challenges was trying to present that in a concise way because we did have so many witnesses. Some of the most powerful witnesses were witnesses who, in fact, were fellow Republicans who had voted for Donald Trump, who had campaigned for him, and who wanted him to win the election. These included state officials, people who worked on his campaign, and advisors. I will say, however, with respect to the charge of insurrection, we did not charge that. As I set forth in my report, well, I believe that there is, courts have found that that was an insurrection and that there's a reasonable interpretation, a reasonable prosecutor could interpret the evidence to support that charge. I chose not to do that, looking at the facts in the law. I thought the charges we brought were appropriate, given the evidence that we had.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, for your decades-long public service and for working tirelessly to uphold the rule of law. Those who attack and smear you and your team in order to protect Donald Trump should be ashamed of themselves. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from California is recognized.
Mr. Smith, do you see criminals to my left? You don't see any. Do you see people who are committing crimes because they continue to believe things that just aren't true? That's paraphrasing Ronald Reagan, that liberals aren't stupid. They just know things that don't happen to be true. If the president believed that he was cheated in an election, that there was fraud, or in some other way a number of items led to his defeat, when in fact he should have won according to the Constitution, does that make him a criminal?
Sir,
No, that's a yes or no, please, Mr. Smith. These people here are continuing to grapple constantly with things that aren't true, like socialism works, or that somehow everything the Republicans do is evil and everything they do is right. They've never reached a conclusion in a typical partisan case in which we're not evil because we think something different and we're not wrong. You understand the Constitution. Do you understand the Bill of Rights, that someone has the absolute right to believe something, whether it's true or not, and to advocate for something, whether it's true or not? Do you understand that in addition to your oath to the Constitution, that that's one of the things the First Amendment allows for, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you know that people have a right to opine, lobby for, assert, do everything they can legally to ask for people to make different decisions, then why is it you saw criminal conduct on behalf of a president who believed he didn't win? Chairman Jordan and myself have something in common, along with a number of others here. We saw wrongdoing, and on January 6th, we voted not to confirm 2 states because they had violated the U.S. Constitution in how they selected who got ballots. And yet, you're going to come here and say, oh, I just followed the law. When you went after these people and you said, well, technically I can do that, you didn't see any selective nature or any separation of powers under the Constitution to spying on the activities and the conversations of the Speaker of the House? To what end would conversations between the Speaker of the U.S. House, third or second in line to be the president, and the president, in what basis would it be any of your business other than you believe that there was a conspiracy without conspiracy as a basic premise? You, like the president's men for Richard Nixon, went after your political enemies. Maybe they're not your political enemies, but they sure as hell were Joe Biden's political enemies, weren't they? They were Harris's political enemies. They were the enemies of the president, and you were their arm, weren't you?
No.
No. Oh, great. So you spied on the Speaker of the House and these other senators and so on, and informed no one, and in fact put in a gag order so they couldn't discover it. If they were not subjects of a conspiracy investigation, why did Congress, a separate branch that you, under the Constitution, have to respect, why is it that no one should be informed, including the judges? As you went in to spy on these people, did you mention that you were spying on seeking records so you could find out about when conversations occurred between the U.S. Speaker of the House and the president? Did you inform the judge, or did you hold that back?
My office didn't spy on anyone.
Wait a second. The question I asked you, Mr. Smith, was pretty straightforward. Did you withhold that information from an Article III judge in the process of taking the records of the Speaker of the House?
We complied with Department.
Did you hold
Mr. Chairman, would you please instruct the gentleman to allow the witness to answer the questions?
It's not your time. I'd like my time back.
Mr. Chairman, you have repeatedly done that in the past. The witness has the right to answer the question.
And there'll be due time to answer the question. Would you please put my time back and let me finish this? Mr. Smith, I asked you a question and you were not responsive to it, and I want you to be responsive to it. Did you, whether you think it was legal or not, whether you think it was right or not, did you withhold the name of Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House, when you were seeking records on Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, or Jim Jordan, the chairman of this committee?
The time of the gentleman is...
No, please give me back the time that was taken away.
Time has expired, but we're going to let the witness answer your question because it's an important question. The witness can respond.
We did not provide that information to the judge when we requested a non-disclosure order, consistent with the law and consistent with Department.
Mr. Chairman, the amazing thing here today is that we have an admission that an Article
Mr. Chairman, the gentleman's time has expired by now 34 seconds.
It gets more than 5 minutes.
How many times you interrupt me?
The time belongs to the gentleman from California, but it has expired.
I will be brief in my address to the chairman. We have the evidence that an Article I representative on behalf of the president withheld that Article III.
Mr. Chairman, our witness demanded the same leniency.
And with that, I yield back in disgust of this witness.
Sticking with California, the gentlelady from California is now recognized.
Mr. Smith, thank you for being here today. Earlier the chairman spent a lot
So that was Daryl Issa from California right there. dropping the hammer. There's going to be a lot of things that come out in this that have recently hit the headlines, even signing off on orders after Jack Smith was pulled from the case. We'll see how this plays out, but there's going to be some uncomfortable positions that Jack Smith is going to be put in over the course of this hearing, and I'm very interested to see what happens here, because a lot of laws were broken in what Jack Smith did with his investigation, because he had a no holds barred gimmick. He was able to just do whatever he wants, bend and break the law at the direction of the White House. And that'll be questions that'll be forthcoming as well. The meetings with the president or the president's men, the president's cabinet, the direct communication with the Biden administration, all of that will be unfolding in this hearing. So we'll keep our eye on it. A lot of stuff as well when it comes to Greenland. I'll get to that when we get back. 205-545-9950, the line, Talk 99.5. Okay, as we keep an eye on the Jack Smith deal, and I'm kind of just, I really don't want to listen to the Democrats question Jack Smith because it's just going to be a love fest and talk about how great and wonderful of a job that he did. And I also wonder, is Jack Smith even his real name? Sounds pretty fake to me. Now you got Brandon Gill, who I love this guy. Let's hop back into this hearing.
How many days after Kevin McCarthy was sworn in as Speaker did you subpoena his records?
I don't recall, but those two things had nothing to do with one.
It was 16 days after becoming the highest ranking Republican in the House of Representatives. You subpoenaed his toll records. Do you agree that that might reasonably be considered a violation of the speech or debate clause?
I do not, and I want to be clear that the toll records...
You were collecting months' worth of phone data on the Republican Speaker of the House, the leader of the opposition, right after he got sworn in as Speaker, all around the time of a major vote. That sounds like a flagrant violation of the speech or debate clause to me, and I think most people agree with me. And Speaker McCarthy had no recourse, did he? Because you issued a non-disclosure order ensuring that neither he nor any of the American people knew about these subpoenas. Is that right?
The toll record, the non-content toll record subpoenas, we did secure non-disclosure orders for those subpoenas.
You did, and let me ask you, Mr. Smith, at the time you secured those non-disclosure orders, was Speaker McCarthy a flight risk?
The non-disclosure order was based on concerns about...
Was Speaker McCarthy a flight risk?
He was not.
He was not. Then why did your non-disclosure order refer to him as a flight risk? It says right here, the court finds reasonable grounds to believe that such disclosure will result in flight from prosecution.
Sir, when securing a non-disclosure order, the risks don't have to be associated.
You think that the Speaker of the House is a flight risk?
The question?
No, this is not your time. This is my time. You think the Speaker of the House is a flight risk? You think he's going to hop on a plane and leave the country?
No, what I was trying to explain is with respect to a non-disclosure order, the risks aren't necessarily associated with the subscriber to the phone. They're the risks to investigation.
I think that you were using, this was clearly in reference to Speaker McCarthy, and you were using clearly false information to secure a non-disclosure order to hide from Speaker McCarthy and from the American people the fact that you were spying on his toll records. But I've got more, so let's move on. In May of 2023, you also issued subpoenas for toll records of 9 U.S. senators and an additional representative. Is that right?
In May of 23, we did issue...
You did, and there were non-disclosure orders in conjunction with those subpoenas as well, right?
That's correct, consistent with department policy and the law.
So again, nobody would know what you were doing. The senators would, and the representatives would, and the American people wouldn't know what you were doing. Is that right?
The toll records that we secured and the non-disclosure orders were consistent with policy and...
And you knew whenever you were doing that there was a risk you were violating the speech or debate clause. Is that right?
The toll record subpoenas that we secured were with the concurrence of the public integrity.
Your own analysis says that you knew there was a risk you were violating the speech or debate clause. I have it right here. This is an email from John Keller at Public Integrity Section to your team. As you are aware, quote, as you are aware, there is some litigation risk regarding whether compelled disclosure of toll records of a member's legislative calls violates the speech or debate clause in the D.C. Circuit. That's from your own analysis right there. So you did know, didn't you?
Sir, with respect to the item you just put up on the screen, the last sentence states...
we're going to get to the last sentence.
Okay.
We're going to get to the last sentence. And you cite case law in here, quote, the bar on compelled disclosure is absolute. Is that right? Or do you think that you didn't have to abide by that precedent?
To be clear, this statement is not from my office. This is the statement of public integrity.
This is your justification for those subpoenas and NDOs that you ordered. This was part of your analysis. It's a cursory analysis. I think it's worth noting. But let's get to that last sentence then. Quote, given my understanding of the low likelihood that any of the members listed below would be charged, the litigation risk should be minimal here. In other words, you're using a novel legal theory, which you knew was novel, has never been tested by any court, You're not charging any of these members. Nobody's going to know about it because you issued NDOs. Nobody's going to sue about it, so sue this. So who cares? We're going to do it anyways. I mean, you walked all over the Constitution throughout this entire process.
Mr. Chairman, the gentleman's time's
spying
expired.
on members of Congress, and you know it. It's absolutely disgraceful.
The time.
I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Not going to be charged. They're not going to see it. They're not going to know because we're not going to tell them. So let's go ahead and do it. It's exactly what happened. The gentleman from Tennessee is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Smith,
that's what I love about these committees with Jim Jordan being the head of the committee is he'll sit there and back up the facts before he moves on to the next guy. And now you got who is that? Cohen.
Cohen.
Yeah, from Tennessee. Again, it's not going to be relevant to listen to the Democrats question Jack Smith because they're not going to ask him real questions. But as Brandon Gill pointed out there, is they subverted the law and the Constitution throughout this entire process, from going after Trump to subpoenaing phone records of, setting members of Congress, some of the most powerful members of Congress, and doing it all in the dark of night. So nobody could find out because they knew that it would be a big blow up if, in fact, the American people or Congress found out about it and would put the kibosh on the whole thing. Jack Smith had all the eggs in his basket. They had done so many different things to stop Donald Trump throughout his first term to 2020. They stole the election. They then induced January 6th, which they also thought would be the end of Trump. They then realized he's still popular. People still like him. So we're going to raid his home. We're going to try to pin this stolen classified documents gimmick on him. We're going to then go after him on RICO cases. We're going to get him on the Stormy Daniels gimmick. We're going to throw felonies on him. We're going to get mugshots. That would be the end of anybody's political career. Going through all of those different things. I mean, you've got a freaking mugshot, all right? A mugshot after your time in service. Nobody else would be able to recover from that. But the more they did this, the more powerful he became. And so in a last-ditch effort, they put together the Jack Smith investigation and said to him, doesn't matter what you do or how you do it, forget the Constitution, forget the rule of law, forget everything. Do everything you need to do to take this guy down. Because this is it. It's just, it actually wasn't the final shot at taking Trump out. The final shot was actually trying to take Trump out in Butler, Pennsylvania. But none of it worked.